This is News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO. And we're back with the Car Pro Jerry Reynolds. Jerry, how's your day going?
Hey, it's going pretty well, fellas. So far, so good.
Well, it looks like it could be going real good. I told my wife last night, and I showed her the pictures you sent me, and I said, I've always wanted a classic car, but this may be a substitute if we can't ever get there.
Yeah, boy, I tell you, when you and I love classic cars too, Matt. It's just, boy, when you look at the cars today and you go back and you drive one of those older cars, you forgot that, yeah, they look cool and they sounded great, but, boy, they just didn't drive very good.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
These new cars are so tight and they're so quiet inside. Boy, I like classics again, like I said, but I don't think I want to go backwards.
Yeah, only move forward, right?
That's correct.
Well, I mean, and also a lot of people don't think about it, but your classic cars that they show on TV that were these hot rod speedsters were nowhere near as fast as the ones we have today.
Oh no! I mean, in the late '60s, 200 horses was a lot. Now.
And the max you were pushing was 500, right? 400, 500?
Yeah, big time. But, there weren't any pollution controls on the cars back then. I mean, it was pure raw horsepower.
Right.
And it takes so much more today just to equal that. But this car that I've got this week is the 2020 Ford Shelby GT500, which is, in fact, the fastest Ford that's ever been produced. Certainly the fastest Mustang that's ever been produced. 760 horses under the hood. But I got to tell you, the way this car performs, I've had cars with more horsepower than this. I had the Challenger Red Eye last year with 797 horses. But this car is just so well balanced. And by that I mean, with some cars, like the last Corvette that I owned was a 2016 Z06 that had 650 horses. But when you were going down the highway at highway speeds and you floorboarded that car, the rear end would get out from under you. This Mustang, I've never seen a car stay on the ground better than what this GT500 is showing me right now. It'll break the tires loose, and the rear tires are massive. They're really big. But this car, it just feels like, it's got more of a Porsche feel than a Ford feel in that you can corner any way you want to. You can drive it as fast as you want to. In the turns, there's no lean. You just feel super safe in this car, even with that kind of horsepower.
It's beautiful,
Jerry,
too.
Can you hear me, Jerry?
Yes, sir.
Man, that is something. But when I'm looking at the price tag of this thing, $82,000 for a Mustang. Geez,
yeah,
I remember. I'm old enough to remember 1964, I guess, or 65 when the Mustang came out, and they were 1995. But that was a 3-speed with an AM radio and a heater.
Yeah, exactly. But this is
a lot more car, but
this is. I mean, when you get up into that 750 horsepower range to 800, I mean, you're talking about a street legal dragster. I mean, this car is intended to go out on the track, and there's a lot of the instrumentation that will help you with that, giving you 0 to 60 times, which, by the way, is just over 3 seconds. It's just so fast. But, I mean, it is a lot of money. But that Dodge I had last year, the Challenger Red Eye, was even a little more than this one. It was up almost 90,000. And
wow!
This car has got some Recaro seats in it, which is a $1,500 option. Yeah. And if you're a full-bodied person, I would suggest not getting those because they really are tight and they've got big, heavy bolsters on each
I'm out
side.
of there then.
Yeah, I would prefer the regular seats personally, but they do their job in that they keep you in, from sliding out when you start taking those turns really fast. But the sound of this car and the sound of the exhaust is really mesmerizing. And when I get the video up and the review up Monday at the website, we spend a lot of time taping the exhaust sound of this car. And one cool thing about this car I've never seen on a different one, you can quiet that exhaust way down. So when you're leaving your house in the morning, if you don't want to wake up all your neighbors, you can just quiet the exhaust, and it sounds very normal. Also helpful when you're on your cell phone using the Bluetooth.
Jerry,
yes.
You know what? You hit on something that I wanted to ask you, and I'm getting old and my memory's fading, and I may have already asked you this, but loud mufflers. This was my generation. Back in the 60s and 70s, we had loud. We put glass packs on our car, and it was loud. But then that kind of went away, and it was out of vogue, or either that or I missed it. But now I'm hearing we've got, like a neighbor of ours has a Mustang, and that has some mufflers on it that absolutely rattles the windows. And I'm seeing this more and more. Is this a new thing?
It's made a comeback. There are certain cars. Mustang is one. Corvette is another one. They have very distinctive sounds, and it's part of the mystique of the car. And I'll tell you, there are people who buy this car because of the way it sounds. And I can tell you 3 blocks away if there's a Mustang coming, just from the sound. So yeah, it has made a definite comeback, and automakers actually spend a lot of money researching and trying to perfect that sound. And I think Ford's got it on this one, especially since you can change the sound. It sounds different when you're in sport mode than it does when you're in track mode. And then again, you can turn it all off. So it's pretty neat. 760 horses is a bunch. The engine is hand built, every single one of them. And in fact, the person who builds the engine signs their name on top of the engine on a little plaque. It's a cool car. So it's a car that you have to respect, or you'll get hurt in it.
So, Jerry, let me ask you this. One thing I've been wondering about these very fast cars, like your Dodge, what'd you say, Red Eye, and also like the Demon Cat, Hellcat, and then now you got this Ford. Do they lose value? I mean, you're talking about an $80,000 price tag, but if they're anything like Corvettes and some of the other ones, you don't see nearly the drop in value that you do in some other vehicles.
No, this car and the Challenger Red Eye and the Hellcat, they build so few of them that they typically appreciate.
Right, they go up in value, not down.
Yeah.
And you don't drive them every day like you do other cars.
No. If you could get one for MSRP, it will bring more than that if you wanted to turn around and sell it. I saw a Corvette at the Dallas auction a week ago Wednesday that had an $88,000 MSRP, right? The new Corvette. Mm-hmm. $88,000 on the window sticker, had 1,900 miles on it, red in color. It was used. It brought $111,000 to a dealer.
Yeah.
So, when cars are bringing that kind of money, a lot of dealers charge over MSRP for this Cobra. Some of them as much as $20,000, just because that's what the market will bear.
Yeah. And
boy, I tell you, if you can get your hands on one of these, I think it's a really good investment.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're running out of time, but what's going on over on CarProUSA.com?
We've got a lot of stuff coming up to go on today, but a couple of new vehicles that have been so popular. The Nissan Rogue, we've got the details on the 2021 model that's going to come out later this summer, and the Subaru Crosstrek, another very popular SUV. We've got your details on that, and then some other fun stories like the best cars to drive to the drive-in movie. Dave, that'll bring back some memories for you. So lots of good stuff, and we've got a lot more going up today.
All right. Well, Jerry, thanks for coming on. You'll be on 11 to 1 on Saturday right here on 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO. And if you like anything you've heard, go check it out on CarProUSA.com, and the Mustang will be up on Monday, right?
That is correct, sir.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Jerry.
All
Have a
right,
good
buddy.
day. We'll be
you.
right back after these messages.